On this Circle of Fists, we are doing the Precision Drive by Horizon Devices. This overdrive effects pedal was designed by Misha Mansour of Periphery. Plenty of gain and volume available, ready to push your amplifier hard. 6-way attack switch progressively tames lows and emphasizes mids for greater focus and bite. Designed for optimal results with analog and digital guitar rigs alike. Built-in noise gate with variable threshold for eliminating noise. Rugged construction for years of reliable operation. The Precision Drive by Horizon Devices retails for $220.
My name is Woody Garcia. I've been playing guitar since I was 12, so 26 years. My favorite style of music is probably funk. The kind of gear I'm using. Today I'll be using a 2012 Fender American Select Telecaster through a Friedman Small Box 50 through a 112 Friedman cab. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Kris Urquides. I've been playing for about roughly 15 years or so. I'm mostly a metal, hard rock, and kind of blues, but predominantly metal. But always mess around with some other things. And today I'm going to be going into a Kemper, into a 212 Legacy cab with vintage 30s.
Hi, my name is Hudson. I've been playing guitar for 12 years. My favorite style of music is 90s rock. Today I'll be playing through my Fender Telecaster through Fender Hot Rod Deluxe 3 combo amp.
afternoon. My name is Kris Whelton, and I think I first picked up a guitar in college. That would have been 1982. But I've really only been playing professionally for about the past 10 years. My style in the sort of blues rock. So what I brought today was my #1 amp. That's a 1969 Fender Super Reverb. And also I'm going to be playing my #1 guitar. That's a 1979 Gibson Les Paul 2550 Anniversary Special.
My name is David Walston. I've been playing guitar for about 13 years. My favorite style of music has to be metal, but it ranges anything from jazz to classic rock to progressive music. Right now I'm using a Kemper amp out of a Legacy 212, and the guitar is a Carvin Becker. But due to a work injury, I will not be playing, but I will be giving my 2 cents.
What was your first thoughts on the pedal? Who's going first?
I'll go first.
You go first?
Yeah. So again, I own this pedal as well. You should. No, it's actually a really good pedal. I have found it to be very versatile in any form of genre, no matter what you play. I haven't used this live yet, but damn, does it make me sound good. And I suck, but it makes me sound good. Like, everyone needs this. It's kind of like taking a carpet off your cabinet. That's what I've been able to notice, at least with my tone. I don't know, there's something about it. The gate doesn't seem to kind of cut whenever you're like holding a bend. It'll still kind of sustain out and slowly come back in. And I don't know, this is the best pedal ever. Who's next?
Tell me how you really feel.
The pedal actually sucks. No, it's a good pedal, for reals.
Okay. I thought it sounded rad. I didn't like any of the attack settings other than the very furthest one on the left. That was a ghost.
Yeah.
And the bright knob was cool. It was like, it wasn't too crazy. Like, I found tones that were like, you know, I had a cut that it sounded good, and then that were bright that sounded good. Same thing goes for the drive. You know, like low gain, high gain, it sounded pretty good. I didn't mess with the gate really. I didn't like it as much stacked with my own gain. It definitely has just its own thing, you know, like. So I don't know if I'd be doing too much tone stacking with it. But on its own, and I'm playing single coils too, and it had like, definitely had some girth.
Yeah.
You know, despite being single coils and not being humbuckers. So, yeah, I dug it.
90s. I love this pedal. I love it. It screams me. Like that. I just had so much fun with it. It sounded like crap, but I had a lot of fun with it on the inside. The attack, like you were saying, yeah, I kept it all the way over to the left. Anything past 12 o'clock was just too bright for me. Bright knob's really cool. I did, of course, shoot it all the way over and turn it all the way bright just to see what would happen. My ears bled. But it's a great pedal. I mean, the drive is killer. The gate, like you said, man, that's the first thing I did was just hit one note and see when it would grab, and would it just dry cut or is it going to fade? And it fades really freaking nice, and that was with it turned almost all the way up, just to see, And no, I dig this pedal, everything about it, man. The distortion, it's my kind of tone. Through all the pickups, it sounded great. It made the amp come alive. Like you said, girthy, dude. There's a lot of beef in this thing.
Yeah,
it's
there's
just
some chunky.
it's chunky, so I like it. Like a lot.
So when I got it, the first thing I did was I didn't mess with the attack, but I put the tone right to 12. I put the drive to about 10 o'clock, and I was a little underwhelmed by it. It has a nice drive sound to it. The attack I don't really mess with. I'm more concerned about the drive and the voice of the pedal, what I would call. It's nice. I mean, it's got a good sound. Certainly is something that you could use. I'm kind of interested in how much it costs. Trying to compare it to other stuff that's out there. We all played another overdrive in another one of these sessions, and to me that was like 10 times this pedal. So this isn't. I was a little underwhelmed with it. A good sound, but not really anything special that I'd race out to get.
Right on, right on. I also own this pedal too. I've had it for probably about 6 months now, somewhere around there. When did you get yours?
January.
Because we got ours right around the same time. So yeah, about 7 months or so. And my favorite thing about it is it can take, it can make the telly sound extreme for sweeps and stuff without making it doesn't lose its tonal integrity and sound all crackly or weird or anything like that. And then at the same time, you can get extremely kind of it's got a really supple breakup. It's not harsh. You could roll down the volume knob and have low gain and have low volume and everything, and there's still tone to it. It isn't like the lower you put it, the more it sucks out of it. You kind of have to push it constantly or whatever. It's not one of those pedals you only have to push to kind of get tone. So I just love its versatility in that aspect. And I just like what you said, I never change the attack setting. It's always on the darkest setting. But even when it's just stuck on the darkest setting, I can still go from basically the most extreme kind of solo-y sound, chunky sound, to the most really clean, just barely little bit of breakup. The only thing I think it wouldn't do is, I don't think it could, or it probably could actually, yeah, it probably could do a single coil so brutal it'll make it sound humbuckery or something. I mean, it just has that potential to make it so fat sounding. It's ridiculous. So
I actually liked when I had the drive way pretty far up.
Yeah,
and I
cranked.
had my volume rolled back just
Yeah.
a tiny bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It gave me, I think, maybe something closer to what you would appreciate.
That's a great tip too, because a lot of people they never find that sound.
Yeah.
Because like I said, we were talking about people always having everything dimed, but if you roll back your volume sometimes, you can find a great tone at 8 or 7.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No,
It has kind of a modern thing going to it, but
Yeah,
then
yeah.
when I, like I said, cranked the drive and then rolled the guitar back a little bit, the volume back, it almost had an old school, close to a PAF kind of sound,
Yeah.
even coming from my single coil.
Yep.
It was chunky enough that it reminded me of an old humbucker.
Yep.
Yeah, they did a pretty badass job on this one, honestly. I think it's always going to be on the board, regardless. So it'll always be well, we're not playing a metal show, but I could use that for some solo dirt or something or whatever. Or what he was saying, taking that carpet off your cabinet. Even if I was in an AC/DC band, I'd be well, I'll take the carpet off the cab with that pedal still, with my JCM or whatever the hell.
Yeah.
You can always run the gain low too. That's how I have it set up, where it's maybe about right here, because I already have a lot of gain set up on my amp. So I just put a little bit, and it's more of to kind of open it up. On the cleaner settings, you can get it dirtier, but I usually don't run it too high. So maybe
Another
that's
thing
why.
too was I didn't do it when I played it just because I was like more focused on trying to think of like soft to crazy to whatever other thing. But you can do chords on it, like massive chords on it, like huge Alex Lifeson chords on it. Don't get like muddy or no buzzing or any weird like cross frequency weirdness on it. Because whenever I have it kind of in my home rig, there's always like a little bit of reverb and chorus and stuff to make it all crazy. But when you go for the huge, wide, weird chords, it all the like definition and clarity is just sparkly. So I love that too. But yeah, amazing pedal.
Cool.
One thing about the tonal like variety in that pedal, I was screwing around from clean and bright to muddy and just freaking heavy. I would hit these certain like sweet spots where it made me think of a song. Like I got to one part and I was like, that's Smoke on the Water. And you know, I played that. I was like, dude, that's awesome.
We could sort of hear that from outside.
Could you?
It sounded close. No, I remember being like,
I mean, for being on the fly, I was like, you know, it made me think of it. I was like, damn, that's cool. And then I got to more of a funky, like less crunch, and brighter. And it was like, play that funky music. Like it gave me that vibe. And I was like, all right, so I'm playing some funky on it. I'm like, you can really use it for a lot. I mean, granted, you got to go down there and freaking, you know, do some setup on it. But I mean, yeah, I just really dig the pedal. So I thought it was cool.
I always have it like I don't know if anyone like cares or whatever, but I always have it really early in the chain. You know, it's always like right after. I'll have one weird thing in front of it, and then everything else, or that's the first. So it's either like the horizon, and then chorus delay, and whatever else, or it's like roto horizon, and then the rest of them. And that roto going into it will add a weird sauce to it. That it's a lot of fun.
I want to try something like that.
I wish I would have messed with the gate a little more because that's a rare feature on a drive pedal.
Yeah, and it's usable. It doesn't make it quiet. It doesn't chop it off. It doesn't make crackling. It doesn't kill, like if you have, you know, background reverb, it doesn't kill the background reverb. Like there's so many gates where you're just like, oh damn, it does that or that or that. Like there's compromises. That was the first one where you're just like, could you just like slowly turn it down before I feedback? That'd be awesome. Like it just whispered back like, I got you. That was it.
Did you just personify your pedal just now?
Yeah. It only whispers to me. It only whispers to me.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. If I'm playing good enough, then it'll tell me little things. I haven't heard anything in a while.
But that whisper's distorted.
Or it's just gated so you actually don't hear anything. That's really what it is. It is gated.
You hear the first syllable and that's it. Close it.
It's just enough to call your name, and then there's nothing else after it. It's just it. All right. What do you wish that, or what do you feel like this pedal is lacking as a pedal?
Stereo. I know it's just a distortion, but that was my very first thing I thought of. I wish I could have put my stereo chorus in line with it and my stereo delay in line with it and whatever else this is. So I always have to have the anything stereo after it if I wanted it to stay stereo, which isn't really a big deal, but some people want the delay before or whatever, and so now it squishes into mono. So that's the only thing really I would think of.
I could see it price being an issue. You were mentioning that the pedal goes for about $220, and that's steep. It kind of depends on what you want. You know, some people are going to go $220, I'll take it, and some people are going to go, I can spend $120 and get a Tube Screamer.
Some people know
like
Misha
that.
too, and so they're going to go, oh.
Yeah, sometimes the
Have to have
name
it.
will just sell it, and maybe that's why it's $220.
Right.
But it's all opinion based, I guess.
Anybody else that's got any ideas of what they think is lacking?
Is it missing anything?
I
Or-
dig everything.
He's
about
sold.
it. You know what though? Speaking of sold, that price is a little steep. Like, cause that's the first thing I asked after I played it. I was like, dude, how much is this pedal? Cause I want it like now. It's like, well, it's like $220. I'm like, oh.
What would be the, like, in perspective though, what would be under that? If you didn't have the money to buy that, what would be the next best thing? And does that thing at least do what that does a good like 80%?
There's nothing I would buy that does what that does.
Yeah.
I will be buying it at some point. Yeah, it's
Just
gonna,
not tomorrow.
It's gonna happen. Just not tomorrow. Yeah. I just gotta save up for it.
My only criticism of it would be that both a positive and a negative. You were talking about clarity on playing chords.
Yeah.
The pedal sounded the best to me. I think at one point I played like this big sweeping open E chord, and it was just I was actually kind of shocked at how clear the whole chord came out. You know, it didn't.
It's kind of chimey almost.
Right. It didn't get mushy, which is my biggest complaint. So I thought the clarity on the pedal was really, really good.
Yeah.
If it were me, you could take that attack knob off, and I'd probably like the pedal just as much, because I would want to mess with the other 3 knobs, and especially the gate is a pretty cool feature. So if you drop the attack knob and you just had the other knobs, but you kept the gate,
Yeah.
for me, I think the pedal would be more functional for me. So.
Totally understand that.
Okay, cool. Overall thoughts on the pedal? Anything else? You guys kind of said a lot of stuff. Anything else? Anybody else got?
Any advice for any players out there wanting to use it? Or
Well, I'm going to make a point again.
Yeah.
And again, this is something
Yeah.
we've talked to one of our other, sort of sit downs. Space on the pedal board is a premium.
Yeah.
I did like the fact that it's only that big
Yeah.
and not bigger.
Yeah.
Because if you're going to use it, if it's going on the pedal board, it really looks economical.
Yeah.
To get it on there.
Yeah.
So.
It's pretty standard, like Boss type size.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like an MXR box.
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Basically.
think it's the same size as a Phase 90, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Same boss.
Cool. All right, last one. Would you buy this pedal? I mean, obviously you already own it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd buy it.
Crowd
Yeah,
owners,
he owns
crowd
it.
owners.
Exactly. You guys don't care. Yeah, and Kyle's buying one. Maybe not tomorrow, but the next day.
I don't think I would, just
You got a
because.
Klon though.
I mean, it's
Right.
it's not just that. It's just, I don't know. This has more of like the distortion tone, whereas like I kind of want just more of a slightly overdriven tone. Like I kind of rely on my amp for like when I need that total saturation on my amp plus my Klon. So I just don't know. Like I think if it was on my board, I just don't know if I would use it. It might be cool, like just through a clean amp and having just another gain stage that's different, which especially when you're playing in, a cover band or something, that application, you need as many like types of gain, I guess, as possible to try to accommodate all the different styles of music.
Right.
But yeah, I'm kind of on the fence. I don't know if I would or not.
I would probably pass on it because now learning what the price point is, that's about the same price point as, say, like an Odd Fellow Caveman. And that pedal comes with a boost.
Yeah.
And again, I'm looking for my pedals to do as much for me as possible. So I just don't like it enough to spend $225 on that. I'm never going to use the attack button, and it's got a great drive sound, and it's clear as a bell. There's no question.
Yeah.
But I'd probably pass on it.
I do want to say a couple of things before we ended that pedal. Actually, we didn't really play a lot of like brutal. It's a metal pedal,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
a lot. There's a billion videos of a billion guys out there saying, "Look how hard I can crunch with this thing." So I don't feel that guilty about not doing something extremely metal with it. But people know it can. But one of the cool things was a lot of players, they use Logic or they have like Studio One. I love Studio One, or whatever, GarageBand, whatever else, and they only have their computers, because that's all they have for whatever situation. And I've run that straight into an interface into Studio One or into Logic or whatever, and it works. I mean, it doesn't have any weird tracking or clipping or digitalized anything. So for people who don't have an amp and they just have a computer with their little fake plexi tones on it or whatever, that will definitely do the job. That thing kills.
Gate probably helps a lot with that too.
With effects too, because I run it in like a single chain, like without having to do stereo. Just it would be like tuner, that a reverb, and then the triple delay into an interface. And once you just get the level relationship, who's louder than who in the pedal chain, then it sounds fine. It totally is usable and workable and recordable. So just wanted to throw that 2 cents in there, because there's people who are like, you can't plug it in a computer. Have that whole argument, but that thing kind of proves them wrong, I think. So yeah,
Awesome.
that's great.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for being here and doing this.
Happy to be here.
Yeah,
Awesome.
thank you.
All right. It's all
Cheers.
good.